Hello, and welcome back to this week's Campus News Update. I'm Courtney Gear.
And I'm Colleen McCormick. On this week's update, an upcoming event Star Wars fans won't want to miss, and an update on the men's and women's basketball teams. Topping our news this week, what would you do if your favorite spot on campus was suddenly not usable? That's exactly what happened for one group on campus last week. MacHugh Theatre flooded last Thursday when a pipe burst on the morning of what would have been the opening night for the Black History Month production. Suzanne Molinaro went into the theater to run some lines, and instead of finding the tranquil space she had left the night before, she found a flooded theater. An open door backstage allowed cold air to fill the theater and ultimately was to blame for the pipe burst.
We saw the water damage everywhere, by the seats and backstage, and it was just heart-wrenching to see our little home being flooded everywhere.
However, the Black History Month production was able to perform at the Connie Neiman Center on Saturday evening, because as they say in show business, the show must go on.
Book lovers, listen up. One group on campus gives students the opportunity to read best-selling novels and engage in a literary conversation. The Literary Couriers is a group that chooses popular novels to read each month. They meet every third Wednesday of the month at 4:45 p.m. in Cuyo to discuss the reading. For 30 to 60 minutes, students, faculty, and alumni are encouraged to attend. Members may purchase their own copy of the books or rent them from the Interlibrary Loan Program through Brenner Library.
We usually discuss books that the members have chosen, and it usually deals with teen literature, and it's nothing too difficult. It's just something to read for enjoyment and to discuss together.
Meeting dates
My whole
and
idea
the book
for the bag
discussion will be posted beforehand on QU Announce.
From books to movies. A new group on campus called Who and Friends is hosting a Star Wars movie marathon on February 21st, beginning at 7:30 p.m. in Francis Hall, room 202. The marathon consists of Star Wars episodes 4, A New Hope, 5, The Empire Strikes Back, and 6, Return of the Jedi. Free popcorn and snacks will be provided.
Phi Sigma Sigma sorority will be hosting a bags tournament on Friday, February 27th. The event will take place at the Health and Fitness Center with check-in starting at 3:30 p.m. and the tournament beginning at 4 p.m. The cost to enter the tournament is $20 for a team of 2. Proceeds from the event will go to the Kids in Need Foundation and Practice Makes Perfect.
My whole idea for the bags tournament was bags is a very popular event, especially with college students. So I think it will be a lot of fun and get the school to participate and come with Greek life and have a fun time on a Friday night.
There's more to come on QUTV. We'll have a check-in with your wintry forecast with Allison Malone.
And some shocking stories from around the web in this week's Hawkward. We'll be right back.
It isn't a building. It isn't an arena or field. It isn't a classroom. It's a friendship. It's the bonds you form. It's an opportunity. It's the experience. It's a cute thing. Schedule your visit today.
Welcome back. It's been a chilly week here in Quincy, and it looks like we might not thaw out for quite some time. The big question now, is there more snow on the way? QUTV's Allison Malone has the latest. Allison?
Thanks, Colleen. We're going to start with our weekly forecast. On Friday, the 20th, it's going to be 34 degrees and cloudy. So we're coming off from this snowy path. And then we're going to come to Saturday. If you really like the snow, you're going to love this. It's snowing again, so really a winter type vibe. And then we're going to go to Sunday, which is the 22nd, and that's going to be 19 degrees. It's going to be cloudy, so be careful. It just got done snowing on Saturday, so it might be a little icy on that Sunday. And then we're going to move to Monday, and that's going to be partly cloudy, 16 degrees. And then Tuesday is going to be going up to 28 degrees, partly cloudy. And then we're going to move to Wednesday. The sun is going to be shining, but still cold. And then on Thursday, it's going to be 19 degrees. Back where we was at on Sunday, it's going to be 19, cloudy once again. I'm Allison with your weekly forecast. Back to you guys.
QU's American Sign Language program, also known as ASL, is hosting a unique event called a Silent Night. During the Silent Night event, there is no talking and only communication is done using your hands.
Hey all, you come to our event that we're having on Saturday night. It's really fun. If you want to learn some sign language, come. It's called a Silent Night, and we will not be talking all night long from 8 at night till 2 in the morning. So it's called a Silent Night.
All QU students are welcome, and the event includes games and free food. Coming up, we will have an update on the basketball teams.
And a Hawkward story about an owl who just won't leave Oregon joggers alone. Stay with us.
Join me, Coach Marty Bell, head basketball coach of the Quincy University Hawks, live from Chicks on the River every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. or on ESPN 1440 for the Coach Marty Bell Show. Hear from our coaches and players as Ben and I recap the previous games and preview our upcoming opponents. Grab your friends and family and come out to Chicks on the River for a great meal and meet the Hawks. QU men's basketball, Chicks on the River, and ESPN 1440. A winning combination. And as always, it truly is.
Welcome back. Andrew McCulloch is here with the latest in Hawks hoops. Andrew?
Thanks, Courtney. The Hawks basketball team returned home to face St. Joseph's in a battle of struggling teams. Coach Bell's squad needed a victory to keep up pace with the rival conference teams. With hot shooting and good execution and rebounding, could the Hawks pull out a much-needed victory at home? Let's go to Pepsi Arena and find out. As here in this first highlight, we're going to have Dalton Hoover rejecting a shot by the Pumas, but St. Joseph's would come right back with the driving kick, and this would be David Hill making the three for the Pumas. The Hawks, though, they had their own inside-out plays here. Getting the inbounds would be Evan McKay. He gets double-teamed, so he's going to dish it out to Scott Hahn, who buries one from downtown. And here in this next play, the Pumas would claw their way back after QU takes an early lead with great passing like this, and they would have QU on their heels with that drive and layup. QU, there you see the Pumas team excited about this one. QU would find their success down low in the post. Eventually, you'll see Scott Hahn get the ball back right here. He's going to enter it into Schraber. Schraber puts it up, and he scores that one. Josh Schraber was just too much for this team, and you'll even see more of him in this next highlight, as Scott Hahn's actually going to look to drive into the lane. He's not. He's going to pull it right back out. Schraber is eventually going to get this pass from McKay. He's going to finish and one. And you see the Pumas are just frustrated. They've had such a horrible season, and they would lose this game to the Hawks by a final score of 86-73. The Hawks advanced to 12-13 on the season. Evan McKay with a double-double, 21 points, 11 rebounds, and Godson Inagwe added 20 points and 6 rebounds himself. Now, while the men's team hasn't been able to get above 500, the women's team has. Thanks to leadership from Carly Betancourt, the Lady Hawks team is 13-9 on the season. However, they would not have the same fate as the men's team. They would fall by a final score of 64-57 against St. Joseph's, and that wouldn't even be the least of their worries, as Carly Betancourt is now out with a back injury. Anika Webster would give 13 points on 63% field goal shooting and add 9 rebounds. Nia Roth showing accuracy from downtown, going 3 for 3. The Hawks are now 13-10 on the season. The men's volleyball team has struggled to be consistent all year. They sit at 6-6 so far this year, and they would need a great effort from second-year player Jared Kelso to win a close battle against King. They would win this contest 3-1, advancing to 7-6 on the year, getting above 500. Kelso with 14 kills also added 4 blocks, and John Pranger with 10 kills, 4 blocks, and 3 aces. So that's going to be it for this week's sports action. Tune in next week for even more QU sports coverage. I'm going to send it back to Colleen at the news desk.
Thanks, Andrew. Now QU TV's Randy Swope joins us this week's wackiest and weirdest stories from around the web. Let's take a look at the latest Hawkward moments. Randy?
Thanks, Colleen, and welcome back to this week's Hawkward segment, where we bring you the most oddest and cringe-worthy news from around the web. Here we go. Well, we may have some bad news for our Hawkward viewers. An indecent exposure legislation bill in Montana was proposed to ban women from wearing yoga pants. The proposal would have expanded the definition of indecent exposure to include that tight-fitting garments that give an appearance of person's private parts. Now, discussion was not allowed before a voice voted on the bill, but ultimately the members of the House Judiciary Party tabled the bill. I guess for our viewers are no worse for wear since the bill was not passed. Hawkward. Well, this next Hawkward story is quite a hoot. Apparently an owl in Oregon Park has been attacking runners as they passed by. One runner in the Bushes Pasture Park in Salem says he was pecked so hard that he thought he had an aneurysm. And another said he had his baseball cap stolen from top of his head from this ordinary owl. This angry owl is getting so much attention that MSNBC Rachel Maddow has even suggested that the park post warning signs about the Salem's officials approved of the idea and now have put up several signs already to warn visitors of the park to watch their heads and their hats. For now, it still looks like a threat looms over the state of Oregon, but to us, it seems like a lot of hype for one little bird. Hawkward. From the hat-stealing owl to a cone-tossing triad. One woman from Hollandale Beach, Florida, has been arrested on charges that she threw traffic cones at a car and spit on one of the men who restrained her during the tantrum. Witnesses say that 25-year-old Arlene Mena threw a traffic cone with enough force at a driver to break his rearview mirror. Mena was taken into custody on charges of battery and criminal mischief, but during Mena's first court appearance, she stated she was just doing artwork with her traffic cones. Mena also stated that she was walking around with her boots on and hurt her leg. The judge set Mena's bond at $1,000 and told her to perhaps get a new hobby and perhaps a new pair of shoes. I gotta say, that sounds awkward to me. Well, that's all we have for this week's Hawkward segment. As always, tune into next week's for the craziest stories from around the web. Till next time, I'm Randy Swope, and I'm sending it back to the news desk.
Thanks, Randy. Andrew, how do you feel about more snow coming this weekend?
Oh yeah, I love snow. I mean, the cold weather is just so much fun. It's just a blast. I mean, you go outside, walk to your classes in the freezing weather. I mean, there's just nothing better than that.
I gotta say, I am ready for some spring break weather. Well, that's it for us this week. Remember, as always, to tune in online on Facebook or on Channel 97 on campus for more news anytime. For the entire QUTV team, I'm Colleen McCormick.
And I'm Courtney Gear. Until next time, thanks for watching, and we will see you again next week.